I was thinking maybe they would have gone the puck just because it's a little bit better at split pushing than the void spirit. You know, you're going to have a bit more of that mobility. Not quite as strong in team fights, I suppose, but you know, definitely felt like it fit the bill for this particular draft. The coddle's gone all the way through as well. Actually, I don't
Team
think
ban.
either team are going to pick it up, but it's
Okay.
still looking pretty good, man. Brewmaster, huh?
So I thought they were going to be content with the Elder Titan just to try and kite the Medusa. Like if you get an Echo Stomp onto her in a team fight, that's a decent duration just to avoid her for that timing and then maybe kill off the rest of the utility heroes. But Neon really want to put emphasis on now just cycloning the Medusa in the air. And we see Motivate quite often can be this completely reliant on just your hyper carry, your position one to win you the game. And Brewmaster is a great anti-carry to prevent that.
I feel like it's weird, right? Because there's strengths and weaknesses to both drafts. With Neon, I feel like they are lacking a little bit of damage. You know, they're so heavily based around the shapeshift where, you know, if you don't get that off and if it doesn't get super late and the Phoenix can not get off a max Sunray, you're going to have a little bit of difficulty. So a lot of it's going to be on the back of Makoto's hero that we're still yet to see to be able to dish out that damage early on. But then conversely, you know, you've got a Phoenix and an Elder Titan, provided they're playing around this Brewmaster, that I don't think Motivate.Trust have the burst damage either. I think they've got more damage in a team fight, but not the burst to be able to take out this Brewmaster super early. You know, maybe they could do it, but I just
10 seconds.
it would need to be some perfect coordination coming through.
And quite honestly, like this pick doesn't make as much sense to me now because you're showing your Lycan. Like you had a lot of flexibility going to the 24th pick of your Lycan and your potential offlaner. So I thought they were going to go for their 2 there to counter the Void Spirit. Now we're already seeing Ember's gone. They're going to ban another very good matchup versus the Void. And that was the weakness of going for Motivate's position 2 there with not revealing Neon's matchup. So I'm really surprised they don't counter the Void Spirit head to head in the second phase and then go for their at least offlaner last or even their 1. They could have flexed the Lycan, but now Motivate 100% certain that they're looking for Makoto here.
Team ban.
Get rid of the puck. Okay. I mean, it leaves Makoto Storm Spirit there, which I think is it's a damn good pick. You know, what reason is there not to go the Storm Spirit in this game? I mean, of course, if you go the Blink Spear or the Yule Spear, you can still catch the Storm Spirit, given that he has a little bit of that wind up for the cast. I actually banning out the clock. Huh? Pick it up themselves. Okay, all right. So there's some next level plays going on.
So what's this? A Void Spirit 4?
I
think of is it 5?
Hero. Remember, we saw Masaros play the Storm Spirit in the offlane, and he did very well.
That is true. That is very true.
But then where's the Mars?
Like I'm pretty sure you want to melee with the Medusa. I don't know Snap Medusa. Can Neon punish that though?
Hero, though.
It is, and I don't feel like they can punish with like a Brew Phoenix into a Medusa lane. Like that doesn't sound like they have a lot of kill threats. So Motivate can kind of get away with the greediness, and you banned out Ember, Puck, good matchups versus the Void, and you also counterpick the Storm as well. So if this Void is going mid, then it doesn't have many heroes to be countered.
Are there even any mid laners left in the pool that are in the meta right now? Lena's gone, Ember, Puck, Quap, Batrider, Conker, all gone. Track is there, but
alright, what do they go? Okay. I really feel like this hero is going to get a huge resurgence with the buffs that we've been seeing over time to him. There's been a transition into magic / physical. I know with that arcane blink, people were always experimenting. He got very minor games where he'd be pulled out. Also, it is going to be a Masteros Void Spirit and Q's playing the Mars as well. But the Shadow Fiend, how do you like
it's
this
weird.
last
like it's weird. Like the mid lane, it gives them the damage that they so desperately needed. Also, you have to consider the fact that you've got an Elder Titan with you as well, right? So you're going to have, if he opts to go for perhaps a magic damage build, which is a little bit more effective early on, which obviously you've got a Lycan on your team, you're against a Medusa, so you can't let her get to that critical point where she's just going to be stronger than any other hero in the game. So I think even when they're going for these ganks, I was really hoping for Neon's sake that they would be able to have something like a Storm Spirit or an Ember Spirit where all you really need is the Astral Spirit on top of a hero. and then the natural order just does the work, right? Because it's the spirit that does the magic damage, the magic amplification portion, and it's the hero itself that does the armor reduction. So I feel like you could have used the hero for that. Whereas if you're revealing with a Shadow Fiend, like you need to be up in their face, and it becomes a lot more obvious, at least pre-Arcane Blink, that you're going to be getting this kind of setup off.
So the one cool thing I see about the Shadow Fiend is often they've been going for a lot of points in presence of is it Overlord, Dark Lord, the minus armor, the talent, and you could siege really, really fast with that Lycan. Now, Motivate have pretty good ways to defend their objectives just with the heroes they've already kind of picked up in their draft to shove out lane, so it might make it a bit more difficult for Neon, but they could hit a huge timing. Fortunately, they're on Dire, so I felt like the timing would have been revolved around that first Aegis, but I really feel like maybe Neon could go off the back of the potential here where they should be able to really put a lot of pressure on and take these objectives early.
Keen to see how this position for Mars works as well. Q's going to be playing it. It's not like it's into a ranged core either. So, a lot of the times you see them, if you're against a range, you get a point in the bulwark and you just stick your shield up and try and redirect some attacks to you when they're trying to secure range creeps. But not going to be the case this time around.
Another way I was thinking of the Shadow Fiend is late game, quite often ways to deal with the Medusa is having just a ridiculous out of range and you just completely outrange her. We've seen Arc Wardens, we've seen Terrorblades, Snipers has even been the biggest counter. I just wasn't sure if Shadow Fiend had an attack range talent. Unfortunately, he doesn't. He's got 500 attack range. What's Seduce's flat? So Seduce's has higher. Maybe, so he would have really needed a talent to be able to outrange her. So that's taken out of play. But yeah, I feel like that 15 talent, maybe if they can combine that up with a lot of kills, like a solid laning phase, and then just snowball the game potentially, because I worry about going late.
I would worry heavily about going late as well if I'm on Neon's lineup. Like you said, it is very heavily going to be based around that level 15 talent, as well as what items 458 is going to get in that meantime. Obviously, you're going to go the Helm of the Dominator. He didn't end up finishing the Helm of the Overlord last time. Remember that was the drums that he got instead, not even having the Vladimir's offering. So we'll see what they're able to do with it. Zhao is up here, paired together with him. It's the double... I don't mind this, right? You've got the Phoenix there with the Fire Spirits that's going to be able to proc the Cinder Brew constantly. So it's a good lane on the bottom side here for Zhao Yu and Hustler. So I'm sure they're going to be looking to get a lot of harassing onto Jackie. And they've actually switched the lanes up as well with Q. Even though he's the position 4 for Motivate, he's paired together with Jackie.
Yeah, I like that a lot. You're just getting a body to put in front of the Medusa early. You see how he's itemized as well. Double Gauntlet, Ring of Protection, looking for an early Soul Ring. Just try and probably trade with the God's Rebuke and just buff up how tanky he can be. Definitely.
Even just for always being able to have the mana to spear people away, right?
Yep.
If they're trying to make any kind of aggressive play, you just spear them out, and you're still pretty happy with how things went down.
So I do think mid lane should be pretty solid for Mikoto with how low range the Storm Spirit is, and he kind of has to get on top of the creep wave, so Mikoto can just kind of spam up the razors. We see sometimes at the early levels you can just blunder, or I should say waste a lot of the resources early from your counterpart position too, but looks like Fearless is sticking a sturdy amount here. He's got one Tango left and almost bottle.
And you have to remember, though, that it is a Fearless Storm Spirit. So he's level 30 on the hero. We saw in the pregame that he's won his last 4 pubs with it. But very nice work there coming through from Neon. Zhao ended up putting a Sentry Ward into that small camp, so blocking off a lot of the farm that Fearless is going to be able to go for here.
Denied. It just looked like Genuel with the right clicks from the Astrals. It's no different. We see from the Elder Titan. He does have a mid lane, Fearless. He's looking for his own solo kill. Mikoto doesn't have any mana for the Razors. Fearless unfortunately misses. Oh no! He might get both water runes now. Oh, this lane this gets really hard. I don't know if it gets unplayable, but that's a huge misstep. Oh.
I mean, it's a misstep, or you could just say it's luck, you know, the uphill miss. I don't know if he would have had the damage, to be honest, to actually take it out. And, good. So they ended up buying a sentry ward for him, dropping it in base, so he's able to at least de-ward this small camp. It's so important for Fearless to be able to pick that one up. Look at Makoto, he's just positioning himself so aggressively that he's not going to be able to get the de-ward off before the 3-minute mark.
I like that. He recognizes the advantage he has. This is... I mean, Fearless, has he got a stick? No, not just yet. So it's going to be a lot of consistent harassment. They've still got a bounty for Makoto to play with as well. Even 2 bottle charges as well. So Storm is going to get no love. Maybe... Could you see some rotations come out from Motivate to help the Storm Spirit?
Oh, from who though, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you've got any fast-moving supports. You know, Mirana's not in the pool. There's no Spear or anything like that. Bot side, Xiao Yu's actually taken a bit of harass here, but the Fiery Spirit's attack speed reduction is going to be enough to dissuade them.
And it does look like they're doing a pretty good job to give Jackie some of his farm. He's top of the last hits at the moment. And we'll see, they're also a team for Motivate that are going to rely pretty heavily on the stacks for the Deucer, along with the Storm Spirit. Then Genuel going a bit of an expedition. Looks like he'll be penalized for this, trying to scout out Set-Zero and what he was up to, considering he was missing from the lane.
Sure, Fearless is like, man, why'd you have to get that last hit? My lane is gone not well at all, and that extra 170 gold could have been enough to make him at least competitive in this lane right now. But Makoto again getting both water runes.
Yeah. Oh no. They have to feed in a lane and refill. Q. I was gonna say might just be doing that, or Masros, who picks up a big kill on 458 as Genuel wasn't nearby. Simultaneously down bot. We will see Q end up dropping. Keep our eyes. As Genuel is just absolutely bodying Set-Zero. The Remnant, oh, just the nick of time. Genuel is still gonna try and dive Masros. He almost body blocked Set-Zero, but the additional attributes from the tower enables 2 kills in quick succession there for Masros.
Set-Zero got a little bit lucky there that he was able to get away. He had his boots of speed in the backpack instead. They had just been freshly delivered, so had a bunch of branches instead. He's still able to get the kill though, and the stack off, so little things going back in Motivate's favor, even though again Makoto, he's putting in another star performance.
That is. Did you feel like this game, like who is it reliant on Neon? Because we feel like they're probably on a bit of a timer, right?
They're on a bit of a timer, but also they're lacking damage super early, so Makoto doing exactly what he's doing right now is so integral for them to be able to make any kind of aggressive moves. And you can see he's even going into the infused raindrops, realizing that as the Shadow Fiend, if you're dying a few times super early, all that pressure goes away from the map. And that's exactly what you need to keep applying. Just does everything well, right? Delivers the Observer Ward, he's able to bottle as well. Didn't get the stack off for himself, but he's just needing to get back to the mid lane, make sure he can shove that in, and even potentially get some catapult pressure onto Motivate's mid tower.
Yeah, one of the better supports we see at a consistent rate. Feel like his overall improvement since he's been on the Neon roster is just really flourishing as Fearless. Try and utilize the Arcane Rune in the arsenal. He'll protect out Set-Zero, and in fact Set-Zero wants to even jump back in with the rotation from Masros, and support's a little bit too late from Neon. He might kill off Fearless though, still very low on mana, and Genuel's just got so much right-click damage, so even give him some armor reduction in the fear. Now this does leave Xiao Yu solo down bottom. Jackie just gonna have enough for the Mystic Snake with the good old right-clicks to bring him down, but Xiao Yu playing with that last remaining stick charge to get back to safety, but the Brew's not having too fun of a lane.
It's not, but and Jackie's getting a decent amount of farm from it as well. I was about to say I was liking Q's movement there because they've got this siege creep whacking away at the tower. They end up getting a decent amount of damage onto it. I thought maybe they might have been able to get Hustler isolated as well. He's just getting the stacks off though. Obviously, with Makoto dying, he's going to need a little bit of help. And oh, actually, I didn't even realize in their own jungle, there's a pretty big stack built up here already.
Yeah, the ET was just setting that up before he
first shapeshift
for the river. Jackie's in trouble. He's just going to go for a straight TP, and they've got no cancel unless the damage is there, but Q will push back one, and he's going to go for his own TP out, and well, they've got no answer.
They'll take the tower. You know, it's a consolation prize for themselves. If it was a little bit later, you could still obviously have Set Zero look to TP down there, maybe just lay down the Mortimer's Kisses to stop the creeps from impacting, but, you know, even though they're not getting a couple of kills, this is the kind of pressure you need to be putting on.
They're actually going to defend this. Mastros is coming. They know Shapeshift's on cooldown.
I suppose. I mean, he's got those raindrops.
Level 7-2 on Mastros, so he's got a lot of damage early. Just who do they want to target with all the spells at the moment? They're going to be perfect. They can't step their damage too far between the Motivate heroes. So try and bring down 458, and they'll do so successfully. Mastros. Resident Pulse will be able to buff him up. Even Fearless going to make the rotation down, so Xiao Yu still not the level 6 that he's needing to turn this fight back around. Unfortunately, it's going to cost him here. And under the tower, Januel will get some retribution. Even Makoto looking to show up as well. So a huge brawl down at the T1 tower. We're going to bust out a bit of a party. Fearless, unfortunately, out of meta, so they'll just turn to kill off Q.
He's only one creep away from getting that arena available.
Maybe this might be enough if he can drop it defensively to get to safety, but Hustler is just going to dive in forward and slows down Q, so there will be no escape.
Easily top of the net worth charts, but, you know, like we said before, Jackie was able to TP away from that. Good instant reaction to be able to avoid the lane. Putting some pressure onto the top side, so even though, you know, you lose a tower, the Deuce is continuing to farm. So I don't think this is enough from Neon's side. They need to be getting a whole lot more aggressive right now, and the fact that even small things like Xiao Yu dying a second before the, I believe it was Snapfire went down, means that he doesn't have a charge in the Urn of Shadow still, which is very important for him just being able to sit in a lane on his own. He can't proc that Cinderbrew anymore.
I'm a bit worried for how Fearless is going to have a game, though. His 45 last hits compared to the 97 on Makoto. Yes, this was a lot of jungle creeps and how much they enabled him, and they're even going to look for a smoke early. Makoto, level 10. It's already hit one of the talents, but the rest of the supports are looking to try and transition to bring down Jackie. Now, this is not an easy kill by any standards at all, but it looks like with Xiao Yu's first use of the ultimate for the game, Jackie is going to need some assistance here. The cries will be answered, but it looks like still with how low the Medusa is early on, he's got the Dragon Lance to buff him up. Do they want to dive deep under the T2 tower? A Supernova combined up with the Requiem will fear them away, so they don't have an opportunity to bring down the egg. A nice use of the synergy from Neon, but it only results in one of their own heroes dying.
It was a very heavy commitment as well. I mean, again, Fearless, he's at least there, not dying again as a part of that, but honestly, very nice execution, but, you know, it's 10 minutes in, and you were diving underneath a tier 2 tower. You don't have the damage to be able to burst through all of that extra armor that the tier 2 tower provides you. Even though, like, I do like the fact that they look to make that play, because what we didn't see is that Q actually, they were trying for a kill on the bottom side against the Phoenix, I believe, so he dropped the Arena of Blood, didn't hit onto him, and so Neon were like, right, let's just go forward. We know they're not going to have any kind of counter-initiate, but still wasn't enough for them. Again, it's what I was saying in the draft, right? They are lacking damage if Makoto's not there to be an absolute beast, and he even got off a great Requiem.
Yeah, he did. It's going to be cool to see how they can combine up the Requiem and the Supernova as the game goes on. It feels like it's, you know, not a pairing we see so often, but it did keep the Nova alive. Not that it was able to transition to a successful team fight. Again, they're going to target Jackie. They see Q and Setsu on the back line. This time they're a bit too far away from their own towers on Motivate, so they're going to be cautious. Give time for the rotation to come through. They're going to try and target down Januel. Turns him to stone. They've got the burst from the physical. Now Fearless looking to show up as well, but Hustler should be able to dive to safety. Mastros just looking to target the Helm Dome instead, but he's still going to be a bit cautious here. The tower chunking him down.
They just really want some kind of pressure taken away from him. That's another... Oh, yeah. That's another Cinderbrew proc, actually, onto Mastros. He has to be careful here.
Is he in trouble? Yeah, 458. Yep, charge up. Astral Step. He's actually going to go to the top side. I guess just recognizes that there's no way to escape. They caught Jackie as well. The Centaur Conqueror for 458. canceling the TP. Q sets Zero once again the saving grace to try and keep Jackie alive. They're still committing on forward. The Shapeshift got a little bit of duration left. Xiaoyu's even going to try and help out as well, but now 458, another tier 2 tower dive is going to be punished. It's Set Zero laying down the globs. They'll kiss him to death, and now even Xiaoyu. Okay, well, at least they'll get Q. I don't think they'll get Set Zero though, so poor old 458. Set Zero's falling pretty low, man. Hustler is actually going to go for the dive. Okay, just dropping the supernova. Oh, no.
I'm dead.
It's a good voice line.
Great voice line as well, yeah. But man, like that was even the electric vortex not hitting on the Lycan when he's standing underneath the tier 2 tower. It was Set Zero's Mortimer's Kisses that ended up taking the kill, but it's another one of these like super deep dives that I don't think you can be taking this early on. Like, who are they going to potentially kill? Like, Jackie still had to think about half HP, even though he was out of mana. And again,
Makoto reveal the Shadow Blade top, just drops the Requiem and a couple of raises, and he's continuing to reign supreme.
How many times have we seen this? Like, Mikoto's a beast, you know. He was carrying Boom during the upper division for a fair few weeks, it felt like, and well, he's certainly keeping Neon in this game right now. It's a 2k net worth lead, so you might say that they're in a good spot, but again, you're against a Medusa, you've got a Lycan that has gone 0-3 to start the game. You're not getting the same level of pressure on the map that you might like.
He's not, yeah, 458 is struggling a little bit. To say he's third in net worth, and I feel like if he hits this Orchid timing around the BKB from Shadow Fiend, I think they're going to still be pretty happy on Neon. Heading later on, I'd be worried on what the Lycan can provide you, considering the rougher matchups he's into, but I think as long as they get these item timings, then they're pretty happy, man. Januel, what a position. You're welcome. Gonna try and God's rebuke him back into the initial sentry drop. Even sidesteps the spear. Januel. What a baller. Q's now the target, but they're actually going to jump back in. They got Fearless nearby to lock him in place if need be. They can't stop Januel's use of the ultimate, and now 458 even looking to charge it up, so a defensive use of the arena. But they've got in a couple little minions, so that's not enough to protect Q. Nor will it be enough to protect Set Zero as well. So Neon, yes, you lose Januel, but it gives enough space the reinforcements to show.
Zhao's playing great again this game. So many times we saw, talking about the upper division, he was the one carrying Neon through a lot of the early stages of the game, enabling, you know, the likes of Yopaj at the time to be able to secure it. I wonder if that was on purpose. Just, it's something that I want to see more. Sorry, Jackie's getting dived on again. I want to see more people just leaving like one crappy creep inside of a creep camp, just on the enemy side of the map, right? Because that means that you're not getting a lot of farm and you're needing to wait that full extra minute to be able to try and turn things around and get your farm again.
Q's gonna catch Januel in the river. Neon, they're nearby, and that's an incredible supernova, but well, there's no way to keep them inside the ring, so yeah, they're just gonna walk away. It looked great at the start, but you know, Shadow Fiend nearby, or with already the Elder Titan falling, so I wonder if Motivate won't actually think about taking the tower. Makoto's a big kill. The BKB still yet to be completed. He's got some heroes in the backline here. Is he gonna be taking off? They're showing through a lot of the burst potential. Jack even gonna try and push him further and further away, but Fearless is just over-committed. This Storm Spirit has no net worth to show.
Years of my delight.
Xiaoyu. Oh, he's also just gonna overstep the mark.
It's like, there are times when, you know, it's in the late game, Fearless makes those sort of plays, and he's got the net worth to be able to make it work, right? And I love it, because he's true to his name, you know, Fearless. But that time around, his career was literally like a second, maybe two away from him to be able to have the Orchid. And so if you're making that dive onto the Shadow Fiend, the only reason they disengaged is because he was charging up the Requiem of Souls. If you waited that extra second, you get that onto Makoto, suddenly you get a big kill, and a lot of the pressure on your side of the map is gone. So it's another pretty big blunder coming through from Motivate.
I'm just worried at how much he'll be able to get out of the Orchid, considering I really believe Neon are gonna start to look well, never mind. Okay, Shadowfin went for the raise damage, so at least my interpretation of this lineup is not how I thought they were going to look to play. I still do believe Neon going to look to 5-man with these set of items, and that's really going to limit how Phyllis wants to play with the Orchid. Like, this is an item that can enable pickoffs, but if it can target down the right heroes like the Phoenix and the Brewmaster in the fights, then it should still be able to provide a little bit more impact.
I think the argument for going that particular talent, just the extra Shadow Rays damage, is again, like, nothing's changed. They're still lacking damage, as it's, you know, kind of early on. The Sunray, it's level 4 for sure, but I think until the Supernova's at least level 12, you're going to have a lot more difficulty taking these fights. We've seen another shapeshift being popped here onto the bottom side. I'm not sure if it's worth it just to take out Q.
They might not even get him.
Well,
Let's just drop Arena. Bit late now.
With the Orchid on you.
Master's gonna TP in, so yeah, another shapeshift, and now 458's in trouble. Hustler can try and give him some health back, but it's just gonna set him up for the Arsenals that can start to fly in. It's not enough to clean him off, and now they'll just target down Masaros. So Neon do commit a lot of big ultimates here as Xiaoyu, and has to be careful because of the split shot. They don't have vision of this last Earth Panda.
And then you've got times like that where Fearless is farming with full HP and he's got a haste rune and he doesn't look to join the rest of his team. I felt like that would have been a huge kill if you're able to get it again onto the Lycan and, you know, prevent you from playing on your side of the map. They will get Hustler though. They will get Hustler.
They shall get him. He's got no TP. Although Fearless doesn't have mana. They shall not get Hustler.
Get Hustler.
Okay, that's
All right.
another... Well... another Supernova, I suppose. I was gonna say, the Atos, he's already used it, unfortunately, for Hustler. Now we'll see it come into play. His Q's just gonna get burnt down. It's...
Talk about this Atos on the Phoenix as well.
You fan of it?
I don't hate it. You know, you could lock people in for that extra little bit of time that you need to get the Echo Stomp off, for example. Sets up well for Sunray, punishes the Spirit heroes if they don't go an early Yules or a BKB. So, no, it's not bad. Gives really good stats as well. Man. I'm buying on him basically every single game that I play Mirana, which...
Sure.
It's a lot.
It's a bit of a Mirana spammer. Have you been lately?
If it works, it works.
Yeah, alright. Understandable. Well, that feels like Motivate. If it works, it works for Jackie. And, well, his Medusa, level 15. He's working on the Eye of the Sky. He somehow is being able to topple Shadowfiend at the top of the net worth. And this is going to be huge here for Motivate through these next couple of fights.
Over here now.
They've also got the Sanjin Kai finished up on Fearless, so we can play a lot more aggressive here.
He's used all his mana.
And he pops the illusion as well, pre-Orchid, so he's not going to have a way to get away.
Xiaoyu's just gonna tip Genuel. Well worth the bait, mate. I appreciate it. 458's looking to try and catch out set 0. So this juice will be a lot better here if the shapeshift's still gonna be a bit cautious. The Wolf's gonna do enough. Masteros. Okay.
The savior.
What was your read of Neon's lineup? Because I really thought they were going to go group up with Presence. So I'm intrigued to see how you thought Neon were going to try and win this game.
Well, like I was saying before even more action broke out, it feels like they're still lacking in damage. And it's not like with a Lycan draft, you're lacking in tower taking potential. Well, there's another engagement here onto Masteros. He's going to be able to get away, though. So I think it was more, all right, we can get the extra damage. We're going to win more team fights. And then with that, we can then look to take towers. You know, like... I don't feel like they had the strong enough lanes to be able to just completely dominate. Like, of course, Mikoto did, but the other ones didn't go quite as well. And as a result of that, they couldn't just go all in onto this super split push. So at least this gives them something.
Fearless gonna try and start on top of the Brewmaster. They can cancel. Oh, what a Requiem from Mikoto! Just burst down multiple heroes, and now Masteros will attempt the TP. Just be fortunate enough to make it away, but I thought Makoto's Requiem was even going to keep the Brewmaster alive, but whew, that damage.
Yeah, it was just the orchid tick at the end, being able to deal enough damage to break it down. And then again, you see it, Makoto, he's got the Shadow Raise damage, that enables them to get 2 kills. You've got the Alpha Wolf in the region, you've gone this more right-click oriented build, and yeah, that's going to be enough for them to be able to deal with it. And, you know, what do you know? We were talking about the difference between a Shadow Fiend and a Medusa in terms of what they could do in terms of right-click. Well, he's got the extra range from the Grove Bow as well.
Could you put an argument out that they were lacking damage because we weren't really seeing a really solid team fight from Neon? Like, it felt like all their ultimates were not really synergizing together for, say, the past 7 minutes or so?
I suppose, but you've also, like... I mean, the fact that Fearless has died so many times, I feel like it's almost entirely due to Makoto and his positioning. Whereas outside of that, I feel like if you can avoid the Shadow Fiend, there's not really that much of an issue. You know, it feels like all of their deaths have been a result of some unforced errors coming from Motivate right now.
Oh, for Motivate, they are giving a lot of breathing room to Jack-Yu, who now has the Eye of the Skadi completed. And they're going to look to pick off the Phoenix underneath the T1 tower. Fearless has got a little bit of extra mana to zip away. It's actually just going to blind TP, but Genua's going to cancel to that. So now Fearless has to hope that all his mana is enough to get out of range of the Lycan, but he's locked onto his target. And I don't believe the Void Spirit is enough to protect him. He's going to make an attempt.
Oh, it's just the
only
wolf
hold back
caught.
one of the wolves, though. Even Setsuru as well, trying to protect him with some bodies on the line.
Oh, the mangoes. He gave him mangoes.
There's no way Fearless makes it out. The Great Escape. I mean, they'll sacrifice Q's life, and it looks like Setsuru as well will end up falling.
Glimmer Cape.
See? Maybe Glimmer into the TP. No, they'll be able to bring him down. Even Xiaoyu still able to hunt Fearless, who's completely out of mana once again. And, well, they put a lot of emphasis to save your teammate Syndrome to keep Fearless alive, and still just got locked down from the backline.
Great attempts there by Setsuru to be able to just beef him up with the mangoes to be able to get away. Fearless, again, like he had clarities in his backpack the entire time with an empty bottle. So I thought maybe as he was going past the secret shop, he might try and switch them in just so that he got them off cooldown. And then when they created the space for him, that would have given him the extra little bit of juice to get away. But unfortunately not the case. And with his death, they're looking to try and take Roche here. To the Dark Lord, the Solar Crest, plus the Howl coming through from the Lycan with the Alpha Wolf on top of things means that this Roche is going to melt.
Alright, well, Makoto with level 20, the +3 damage per soul, is hitting goddamn hard. Butterfly is the next item of choice. Great versus someone like the Medusa. Even the Storm Spirit as well to maybe stop the overload.
Man, not super early that you want to be going into an MKV on this Medusa, that's for sure. Obviously still needing to prioritize a lot of the stats for, just being able to sustain himself in these team fights. And, well, we haven't really been talking that much about Jackie. He's 4-0-1. He's still doing very healthy on the net worth front, and it doesn't feel like he's been joining too many fights at all. So this game could still be... It's still very winnable for Motivate, right?
Oh.
He
might be forced to take a fight. Great placement of the Observer Sentry, but still ET is going to scout them out onto the T1 tower. Motivate just looking to get completely out of dodge as Fearless, along with MG.Trust, haven't even made an attempt to try and connect to top. So poor old Setsuru just be caught out in the tree line. He'll still get some distance. Are Radiant's still not going to come? Or is Jackie and Q just enough to deter them? Okay, Setsuru, that's a bit of time wasted here. Meanwhile, mid lane, Makoto's going to drop the Requiem. Unfortunately, this damage is not enough to kill off MG.Trust. And now they know that Makoto's not there, so they're going to start the fight straight on top of 458. The Lycan, he doesn't have the extra life. And now they're also going to try and target down Xiaoyu's Primal Split as well. Have any detection? Dust is out. Fearless long range zip in as well. And Neon just making a costly mistake, showing Makoto mid.
Yeah, it was a really good escape there that Setsuru was able to get off. It meant that Fearless, he continued to stay down on that bottom side. They took the tower. They pushed, I believe, full creep wave into the tier 2. And yeah, he was able to join just right at the end, and that brings him so much closer to that BKB, which he realizes he needs to be able to survive, particularly against the Lycan, right? Like that Orchid, you don't want that to be the thing that's locking you down in every single one of these engagements.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Kind of feels like they've, I don't want to call it just yet, but Deuce is a big lady, you know, she's a big snake lady right now, and it doesn't feel like they've got that much that's going to be able to deal with her. Do they even have a... They've just got the urn right now onto the Brewmaster, even prioritizing the Aeon disc. I would much more likely to go into the Spirit Vessel, because it's one of the best things that you can get against a Deucer. Actually, scratch that. Maybe not now that she's got BKB and Manta Style, that it's going to be so rare to get it off. But if you can find the Deucer in a position where you can get the full value of that Spirit Vessel, it just does so much damage against Deucer, because it's based off of your current HP, not max HP. And Deucer's always going to be losing her mana first.
I wonder if the thought process is just go for a little bit more of a cheaper item than BKB to get me closer to my next item after, where we often see the Ags and Refresher is just all you need on a brew. I'm intrigued if it keeps the blink or not, considering they do have multiple like instant controls, because I believe this is an Aghanim's completed from Mastros, which makes it that much more difficult.
Yeah, sure. They're even pushing the top tower. This is into an Aegis, let's remember. As Boom, they're going for the backstab, but it's only Makoto that's under the cover of any kind of invisibility.
Dire's structures are
They need to connect once again on set 0 along with Fearless. Jackie Fiend once can just BKB TP out. They're going to give him the opportunity to do so. Earthsplitter to actually cancel it. Now Jackie's stuck here and he's got no assistance. They can just hope to actually bring down the Supernova. Maybe Makoto as well, as it's falling low. But to finally be able to charge the Requiem, and Genuel, nice timing on the Earthsplitter.
Him and Makoto are straight up carrying this team during the early game. You know, to be able to get that off, prevent the TP, that's the only thing that they've got right now that's going to go through. Of course, the Supernova popping as well, but pretty damn hard to time that with a TP escape.
Did he preemptively drop the Earthsplitter before he started TP? He must have, right?
I believe so. Yeah. It was just as they were on the escape. Even he might have lucked out a little bit, right? A big benefit of dropping the Earthsplitter is that obviously it clears out a bunch of trees as well.
Gives them some breathing room across the map here on Neon. Maybe they can give them a way to take some of the objectives. I am really intrigued to see how this Shadow Fiend can fare as the game goes on, because I think this hero might get a little bit more extra game time, especially with the the Ag Shard that seems to be getting buffed over time. I still don't have a great feeling if it's good or not, so I feel like this could be like a perfect game to test it. But they're gonna jump Makoto, see if they can kill off the Age. The perfect timing. It's about to be reclaimed. Oh, Motivate, you geniuses.
You love to see plays like that. You know, they knew the exact timing. That's why it's important, boys and girls, to be able to count out that Roche timer, because that was executed to perfection. They do end up smoking underneath an Observer Ward, though, so you can see it's a full-on retreat coming out from Neon. Is it going to be enough, though? They've got the Scardian onto the Brew.
Zhao can
got the Aeon
repop the Aeon. Ultimate's still on cooldown for another 10 seconds. We'll see if you have enough time to get it off. It's a great Echo Stomp just to reset the fight. But the only issue is Jackie. He turned multiple heroes to stone. Xiao Yu, couple more seconds. Can they bring him down through the duration? No.
Oh, no.
Xiao Yu just gets it off. They're going to try and claim out some extra heroes on the high ground, though. Just avoiding Xiao Yu. They can be careful how long they want to stick nearby, though. There's 458 looking to lock onto a target on the backline, but with a shapeshift. Now on cooldown. Neon have to try and sound the retreat. Xiao Yu will see if he'll make it away. Masteros going to continue the hunt. He'll run into the remnant. Great placement there from Masteros.
And this is what I was talking about, right? Motivate, when they're together, when they're fighting as a team, they're so impressive. They've been playing together for the longest time, and they know exactly how each other tick. So little plays like that, you know, set 0, giving Masteros the little extra boost to get forward, feeding him over the mangoes, you know, having Q just spear people back consistently into the team fight, going for that one extra. That's the sort of thing that Motivate are always going to excel over their opponents.
Feels like right now that chemistry really seems to be coming into play. With now being able to accumulate a 4,000 net worth lead. Their first tier 2 tower of the game as well, so can further their own experience lead. And again, I think we're both in agreement and on board that as this game goes on, Motivated only going to get stronger.
There is the MKB actually, finished up by Jackie. So that butterfly that Makoto went, not going to be super impactful for him.
have you got an opportunity to see some Shadow Fiends with this Aghanim shard?
I mean, we saw a few during the I-League, right? But it didn't feel like it was the key difference maker. We also have to remember that you've already got the Silver Edge, right? So the crit's going to be coming through from that, and you're not getting double crits anymore. You know, that changed in 7.3, so that 190% actually nullifies some of the impact of the net worth that you already got by purchasing the Silver Edge with its new passive.
Oh,
Even an Ags for Fearless now. Teamfight's getting a whole lot stronger for Motivate.
that it is. That it is. Fearless has, you know, somehow been able to have himself a game on the Storm. Is fourth in net worth at the moment. Still, of course, behind his...
Has a BKB.
That'll help a lot throughout these team fights, considering Neon are relying on a decent amount of that magical damage.
Asteros has got the Boots of Travel as well, so even though he's underneath a ward right now, might cause them to feel a little bit more confident.
This is a big kill if they can get Hustler. Genuel might be able to delay it enough. Well, he's even got an A on disc, and now with the status resistance, you can have the threat of the ultimate. Once if acute, they're even going to drop the Supernova. They feel like they can take the fight. Arena blocking multiple heroes. They've got to be careful. The egg popping, giving some space, but still the globs raining down hellfire as Motivate now feel like they're an opportunity to siege on forward. Looks like it's a little bit difficult to lock in multiple heroes. Maybe for the last duration, they might not even need it. They'll kill him before he pops out.
And Setzer is putting in work as well. I mean, this seems like the POS 5 gaming right now. Of course, Makoto and Jackie doing a great job too, but just so many team fights set up by these great support plays coming through from Setzer and Zhao. Now, how keen can you get Makoto? You don't want to be walking underneath any kind of sentries.
Really doesn't want to pop a BKB early as well. It's going to be forced to, along with charging up the Requiem. Jackie is just ripping him apart right now. He'll get no assistance. And the Medusa, just too farmed it sees. They can't even stand their ground to deal with it at all. They will force the buyback on Jiaoyu to maybe keep Makoto alive, but it's going to cost them the backline as Genuel will fall. They'll look to target off the Brewmaster. If they can kill him off, that's a big kill considering he just bought back. Even 458 committing with the shapeshift too. So again, Neon not combining their ultimates together.
It's a very odd use of the shapeshift. You know, what are you doing it for? The Medusa was there for the entire fight. Sure, you'll get the Albert off onto her, but that just means that she can wait for the actual creep wave to be there and continue in hitting onto these towers. This feels... It would take a lot for Neon to be able to turn this one around in my eyes.
And they might have to give this up. With Makoto up in 35 seconds, ultimates not at the ready. It's just going to be the Supernova, I believe. Let's see if Motivator edging on the side of caution. Or maybe the EET can offer up some defense. Is definitely one of the better ways to keep objectives live through the incessant spam of Echo Stomp.
He trusts his Kaya and Sanj to be able to protect himself.
Nice force. Gonna try and zip in. They both get clumped up through the arena. A defensive use of the Supernova. It's gonna force Motivate not to be able to commit heavily with that ultimate. Just clumping them together. But at least Makoto's back alive. Is gonna TP into the front line. Motivate. They don't lose anyone. They're gonna look to keep it that way as well. Masteros has got multiple ultimate charges, but the Atos not giving him an opportunity. Now Jackie as well. He's got some heroes nearby. Glimmer Cape as well, just in case they continue to hunt. 4580. Now, we did use the ultimate, so he really wants to lock onto a target. Oh, they've scouted out a DD. If they can give this to Jackie, if they compromise their position on Neon, this could be troubling.
He's even bottling it up so that he has it exactly when he needs it.
Oh, hell.
Pretty early, though. You want to have that, yeah, I was about to say, that BKB available if any kind of team fight breaks out.
Alright, so Masteros just going to clear bot and look to connect. They know how important this Aegis is. This would definitely just give the edge to Motivate to take this game, or maybe give some sense of an opportunity for Neon to bring this back.
Masteros can look to join at any time. That wave is very safely pushed out. Joins in on the backside. Still no BKB on him though. He took a 1600 damage crit from the Shadow Fiend there with the natural order effect.
Oh, they're coming. Jackie's DD. Xiaoyu just getting the ulti off. He's got the Aghanim shot as well. So Fearless with this opportunity to just target down the Elder Titan. Through the BKB duration is Makoto perfect. He is. Requiem out, followed up for the Atos. Is the damage enough? Fearless will fall. So Neon at least hit back. The only issue is that they've lost the Lycan.
Jackie's so close to level 25 actually.
Oh my. Yeah, they need that. I don't know where they're going to get it from.
10 experience away. Shouted it out that he's doing it as well. You almost want to wait for the... Oh, they're coming in from the bottom side. Look at this.
Do they feel pressured? Top's getting pushed in. I guess it's just a range, so they'll have super creeps eventually. They know exactly where they are as Genua once again the sacrificial lamb. I don't think Neon can do enough to keep their 5 alive, and maybe this can give Motivate the opportunity now to walk inside the pit. Set 0.
No, he's not coming out. That was a dieback.
It's actually still looking for kills. They've got to continue to hold the high ground. You can't run down into the river. Use this to your advantage. Maybe with a supernova at a choke point.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
This just feels like a zoning bruise split at this point, trying to wait for the Lycan to come back. Honestly, not even for what 458 can do. It's even just for the Howl buff, essentially, and trying to create a little bit of havoc in these team fights. But, well, they've given them the time. Roche is up. Aghanim Shard. Who would you even look to give it to? Probably Void Spirit. I would give it to Void Spirit.
How close is it? 25. Yeah, that with your Dissimulate stun is really, really good. You might argue Jackie, of course. Cold-Blooded still really nice. It doesn't have the Ag Scepter yet, though, but you know, he's pretty slotted, so he could definitely consider going into it. And okay, yes, they do. What do we got on Dire? There needs to be some items here to bring them back. Makoto, at least with the 25, he's got the Requiem of Souls cooldown, so it's 50 seconds. He's also working into a Satanic as well.
That's what's again using those boots of travel to full effect. Well, I was about to say he might have looked to go for that hard camp, bring himself up to level 25 before the next engagement, but no, he's looking to join his team with a Dagon 2. Why don't you?
Just a BKB casually in the backpack. What is it up to? Still 9 seconds on Jackie.
You know you're in a good spot when you haven't had to use your BKB in 40 minutes. And this was an early-ish BKB as well, right? Like, I was talking about it maybe 10, 12 minutes ago with prior to the Aeon disc coming out for the Brewmaster.
Neon have to be cautious of potential reposition from the Mars. Teetering on the edge where he can find that angle. And for Neon, can you see a crafty way for them to kill someone on the higher ground? Like, they don't have a stun to then blow someone up. I don't know how they can commit for the first life.
I'm thinking, like, you need to get off the perfect Sun Ray. He's going into a Hex even on this Phoenix, so I think trying to make maybe an aggressive dive happen.
Just maybe throw something at them they haven't seen. 458 charging up the shapeshift again before the team can connect, so...
He's not even level 20. That's the other thing on this Lycan. Like, he is not scaled well at all.
I was saying earlier, it feels like this is going to be the real test here on how Shadow Fiends can perform as the game goes on. I feel like this is a hero we might see a little bit more with the changes recently, but Medusa is showing to be a true task here in this game 1.
Yeah, they didn't have any way to outrange her. They didn't put enough pressure on before she reached her timings. That's always going to be the issue against a Medusa, and they're just all clumped up inside their base with nothing to do. You know, I guess the plan is wait for Aegis to time out, but that seems like you're playing to not lose instead of playing to win, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Jackie's also holding on to 8,500 gold, so he could go and buy a Moonshot if he wanted. He's gonna go to Swift Blink instead.
Radiant. Long zip in. See if they can get the outpost before the Medusa TP. They're not fast enough. And now the Shadow Fiend's stunned up. Can they bring it down? 4-0. Oh, they can indeed as Motivate. A huge smoke to get the carry. Now Januel's in trouble. They're one of more important killers in the lane. 458's the target. The Spirit Brothers just combining together. Now they can leak this into more kills as Neon have 0 buybacks available. And this will just cost them game 1. As Makoto will call it quits.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yes, they will. The game was over, but Makoto had buyback in like 3 seconds. When he died, it was just off cooldown, but then he just bought another item afterwards, so he didn't even have the option. So, yeah, it just reached that point where if you're not able to stamp your authority on the map, it's not going to turn out well for you. You know, you had a very early game-oriented lineup that had no tools to progress to the late game outside of Makoto, and I mean, you can't even blame him. Him and Hustler and Zhao, I thought they played very well, but multiple times, Zhao Yu, I didn't really feel a huge impact coming out from this Brewmaster, but 458, the Lycan, it's in the meta, but I don't know if this kind of build is what you need to be going for. You know, you just need to put on this insurmountable pressure in my eyes with the Helm of the Overlord, even since its more recent nerfs.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue now, is it worthwhile going back into the Lycan in their game 2? Because Motivate, they weren't worried about banning it, and their first pick to deal with it was incredible, and overall saw the Medusa, and their first phase just completely countered the Lycan, to say the least. You saw 458 had no game at all. Makoto did as best as he could. Januel had incredible performance in the early game as well on the Elder Titan, but just felt like you're on a timer here. Lycan is not going to scale to the late game as effectively as what you would like at position 1, and you can maybe help in that regard by drafting a position 2 that can scale, and the Shadow Fiend can definitely do that. But I was saying, is he going to be able to go up to the task of what a Medusa can in the late game? It just showed they couldn't. Motivate were just on another level with how they were able to execute the fights. And well, for Neon, they're gonna now drop down a game here in series open up for the day. It is a best of 2 though, so we'll see if they can hit back and maybe tie up the series, but only time will tell. After this break, we'll find out.